Hello Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome today at an in-depth look at Myth of Empires. With the hype around New World about to reach fever pitch with its brand new launch, you probably aren't that interested in another big MMO, but I reckon you should absolutely look into this game. It's going under the radar a bit, obviously, maybe because it's made by a much smaller team, but this game got announced about 9 months ago, 10 months ago, and it's looking fantastic. Now obviously, take everything I say with a pinch of salt. As we all know, pre-game hype trailers really don't do games justice. But what this MMO survival game offers sounds like it could be fantastic. So I'm going to go over the details a bit more. We've had a bunch of devlogs since I first covered this game when it got the first announced trailer. And they've got a beta that you can actually take part in very, very soon. But you better be quick if you want to try it out for yourself. So do leave a like, make sure you're subscribed, and let's check out Myth of Empires. So made by a development studio, I do believe, out of Asia, China specifically. I do believe this game has now got a playtest running. You can go and sign up for it straight on its page, on the Steam page, and it gives you a chance of taking part. Not a guaranteed chance, but it does look likely it will hopefully give you an opportunity. Now you've got to do this quick. It's only open to the 29th, so only a couple of days to go and sign up, but give it a shout. They've run a bunch of alphas in the past. You may have even seen some gameplay from some of them alphas running along. If you've never heard about this game at all, it's got all the features you'd expect. Base building, huge amount of players on servers, but a few that maybe you would kind of like the idea of. You can get your own NPC army. You'll be able to get characters to come back with you, till your farms, or go ahead and lead them into battle. A whole bunch of different biomes planned. It looks absolutely stunning. PvP as well as PvE mechanics. You can see the base building going along. Seems like it's modular or systemic, and lots of crafting and lots of jobs like you'd come to expect too. Is it the real deal? We don't 100% know. I've not had a chance to play it for myself, and as always, things like performance and making sure the lag is decent is one of the most important things in these types of games. Having hundreds of players, possibly hundreds more NPCs all doing battle for you as you take on rival players' factions is definitely something you've got to consider. But it does look great, even in some of these mocked up trailers, which do include actual some gameplay. Ever since Conan Exiles came out, I've always wanted more siege warfare, and with Mount and Blade being so popular but not having proper multiplayer in it, I think a lot of players could gravitate towards this. I may do a bit of a hot take right now, but I'm actually more interested in Myth of Empires than I am in New World. That comes from being a survival fan, because it does have proper survival mechanics in it by the looks of things. A big sandbox environment where, yes, you can do the small things like fishing in gorgeous environments too. What is it with the fishing lately? Like, do we have to have it in every single game? I can't stand fishing. By the time you see this video, like I said, you've only got a couple days maybe to go and sign up for it. The actual beta itself, closed beta, will begin around the October the 2nd at 1 AM PDT time, and it's going to go ahead and finish at 1 AM the 10th of October. It's pretty much a good 9 days worth of action checking it out. And like I said, there's plenty of footage out there at the moment. Some creators did get access and were allowed to show the alpha as well. It's absolutely got some gorgeous scenery and stunning biomes by looks of things. Snowy capped mountains with mine shafts inside it. And again, it does look like you can build your own encampments and bases. Maybe not completely like Ark of Conan where you place every single wall. But honestly, I have seen some other parts of the video where it does look like you can put foundations down wherever you want. So yeah, got to do a bit more research into that, and I will absolutely give you the lowdown if I get taking part in this closed beta, which I've already signed up for. Showing you another aspect of the tools and stuff. Try and do something a bit different. No pickaxe for you this time, my survival friend. How about a rolling rock breaker? That's right. If this was a real thing in 3rd century China, do let me know. I like the idea of this. Again, something different. A stone grinder to use to get resources. And it does look like you'll be able to train up NPCs to do this. They're also offering the ability to go and become a horse rearer. Pretty much cavalry is going to be an important part of this game, as you saw with mounted combat too. And so being able to have the best, fastest, strongest horses means you're going to have to capture them wild, train them and breed them, and that's cool objects as well that I like in the game. From a lot of the blurb, it says that the NPC characters you'll come across, you'll be able to coerce them nicely or take them by will, a la Conan Exiles, and make them come back to your farm, your home, and do your bidding. They've basically got a bunch of information for you to go and look at. If you join their Discord, they've got 100 pictures, screenshots showing all sorts of stuff going on. They've got a bunch of trailers on their YouTube channel, and they're pretty active as well in their Discord. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Dynamic weather, as the trailer suggests, looking sumptuous, some of these biomes, bogs and jungly biomes, and yeah, it just looks amazing. Now, don't forget, this is meant to be an MMO, although they're not talking about how many kind of players you'll have on servers, but it is meant to be one big shared world. And you will have to understand your role. Like, there's different soldier types. You're going to have to learn how to use different types of weapons, different types of classes, as well as, obviously, the mechanics of siege warfare. Each one of these siege weapons and stuff has its own various ways of working. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of involvement trying to learn them systems to go forth into battle and be effective against other clans. If that all sounds a bit much, you can be a little farmer if you want to. You can be the best horse rearer if you want to. I'm not 100% sure how the PvP is going to work again. So it's something I've got to do more research as we get more info about. Bottom line, I guess, is that New World isn't really enough of a survival game for me to really go into, and it's kind of a bit limited, I think, in certain aspects with its PvP. And although I'm not 100% behind PvP games, I don't like the fact that you can get offline raided and stuff in games. I do like the idea of having a proper company. I nearly had that with Last Oasis, but that game had a lot of problems and issues, and so I'm still looking for something that I can get my teeth into, where I can have a clan of ratbags running around and hopefully maintaining some sort of order, or just living our own best lives, raiding and taking on other players. And the idea of that you'll be able to have an army of NPCs also helps with the idea, especially if you're not a big person that plays with other players. Maybe being able to raise your own little group, keep you defended and protected, that sounds pretty good too. I've never been someone that's been big into MMOs. I've only recently got into PC gaming in the last few years properly. So Life is Feudal means nothing to me. I barely know about the game. So when you think about MMOs and survival MMOs, my experience really only rests with what I tried in New World when it was more survival based. But they've changed that a lot now. Now it's definitely more traditional MMO. And when we use the term MMO, you can attribute that to almost anything, like Ark, DayZ, Conan, apparently all MMOs, even though they can only support certain amounts of players. So that's definitely going to be one of the questions I want to find out the most, is how many players does it actually support, what are the kind of PvP, PvE mechanics. As you see clips of the actual base building or settlement building, it does look pretty good, albeit a little bit Clash of Clans. The game makers themselves haven't got a huge amount of history. As far as I know, in recent times they've only worked on a World War II RTS game that involved you pretty much patrolling around with your tank. So that only came out this year in January, so it looks like they have moved on to this pretty quickly. But yeah, like, it just does look good. Some of it just does look fantastic. We'll just have to wait and see how much of this has been properly decent gameplay, or how much they spent 10 years getting it choreographed just right. So while you're enjoying your brand new MMO and you're thinking there's nothing else I'm going to play ever again, do bear this game in mind. I expect a full release or into early access release at some point middle of next year if they're doing closed tests now, and yeah, it could be one to watch. My name's Jade, thanks for watching. I'll see you right back for more info about Myth of Empires and hopefully gameplay very soon.